Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. If I ask you about what you learned in your class, in theory concept, and I relate a little bit of real life situation, can you answer it? I'm sure you can. Because sometimes what we learn in class is not same what we face in the real world situation. When we came with this game, the scenario and the real life situation is the first thing we came up. And what we saw is when people come with the fit jinayat, they tend to believe that the fit jinayat is very cruel. It's like a crime towards the humanities. So then, when we trying to do the games, we try to educate the people how that fit jinayat play the big roles in our society. So then, we come up with one solution. We come up with one games, which we call it Al-Qadhi. Al-Qadhi game is inspired by the Omerta, Mafia Italian games, which consider can call it as game cards. But it's just not game card like Uno, like what we call other than that. It's just not the usual game card. It plays many rules. You have many rules, you have many judgment, and also there are punishment for the players. So that how about we go deeper to Al-Qadhi?
Okay, let's go to our problem statement, which is for the first one, lack of students learning outside the classroom. So from this card can help students to learn everywhere and anytime. And the second one, students lack of comprehensive in real situation. Actually, our card provides many questions which is from the real situation and the current situation numbers. And the last one, teaching materials that less effective. We know that teacher can provide the teaching aid. So here, this the nice game can be the interesting games for teaching and learning session.
Alright, so right now we go to the design of the card. Without further ado, let's go. So as you can see here, this is the design for our back side of the card. We have the words Al-Qadhi here in Arabic, and above it we have justice in your hands. As you can see, the font we use is pretty much easy for the player to read this. And this is the front. This is the front side. You can see the line we use and the number. Right. So for this card, a total we have is 109 cards, and we divided it into 5 types of cards. Okay, so let's go for the first type of card. We have punishment card. As you can see here, for punishment card, we have four cards. And then the second types of card, we have rules card, and we have 5 cards of rules card. And then the third types of card, we have judgment. Okay, so judgment here, we have 5 card, and which is hudud, takzir, qisas, diyat, and not guilty. And we have 6 types, 6 set of card. And then for the scenario card, we have 2 types of scenario card. And the first scenario 1, we have 40 cards. Meanwhile, for the scenario 2, the second scenario, we have 30 cards. Alright, so when we talk about the scenario card, how to differentiate between these two scenario cards. So we make it easier for player to difference the card. Okay, for the scenario 1, as you can see here, the line we use is the red color here. And then for the scenario 2, the color we use is blue. And also we put here the word scenario 2, and also on the scenario 1 we put scenario 1. Okay, so when we go to the size of the card. Okay, so the size of card we use is A6 size, and then the material we use for create this card is art card, and the thickness, as you can see here, the thickness is 285 psm. So I think that's all the design. So now let's look on how to play our game.
Okay, so how to play this Al-Khadi games? So we have 6 card rules: Al-Khadi, Al-Hadith, Al-Fiqh, Al-Quran, Al-Tariq, and Al-Lugha. These 6 cards, only Al-Khadi have the power, or we call the mastermind of the game. So Al-Khadi will conduct the games and ask the question from the scenario card. So the player have the hukum card, which is hudud, ta'zir, qisas, not guilty, and also diyat. So how to play this game? Al-Khadi will conduct the game and read the scenario. So the key point for the player to put their card, the hukum card, is what is the hukum. Al-Khadi will say what is the hukum. For example, me as Al-Khadi read the first scenario. In Malaysia, there is a new teaching, and it has stated that the Prophet Muhammad is God. So Al-Khadi will say what is the hukum. Then the player will put their hukum. For example, hudud or ta'zir or qisas or whatever. But if the Al-Khadi not say the hukum, what is the hukum, the player cannot put their card. The player must listen what is the hukum from the Al-Khadi. If Al-Khadi not say what is the hukum, and the player put hukum card, and Al-Khadi can take another scenario, which is scenario 2, and usually this scenario have a plot twist scenario. For example, the first scenario, Amir stealing something, stealing in the pharmacy. But the scenario second, but not achieve the amount of 3 dinar or first 1/4 dirham, for example, kan. So if the first scenario, me as a player put hudud, but the second scenario it's not hudud, it's ta'zir, so the player will lose. So the player must listen carefully what is the hukum from the Al-Khadi. So if the player wrong to answer the question, we have 4 different kind of punishment. The first one is the player will flip the card first. Then if the player have already flipped the card, then they answer wrong, give a wrong answer, then they must rearrange the card, then have lost 1 card and also lost 10. So this is how we play Al-Khadi card. Okay.
Okay, we move to the next part, which is the benefit of our game. Actually, our game have a lot of benefit, but for today, I will only list down 3 benefits. The first benefit of our game is to provide an easier understanding for the student to understand the fiqh jinayat in term and in the form of the game. Number 2, it can attract the interest of the student to have more fun in learning in fiqh jinayat such as diyat, hudud, ta'zir, khitan, and so on. And the last benefit of our game is it is easier for the student to memorize and to remember the terms in fiqh jinayat. Let's look to the last Islamic education division.